Good afternoon, Bob from Trade Genius, the 20th of July. And just first is at 4 o'clock I'm going to do a free webinar on the day trading money machine. So if you're interested, you don't have to really sign up. Just be a subscriber to the Trade Genius website, the YouTube, and when I go live, it should send out a notification. But if not, just start poking around 4 o'clock. You should see the live stream going. I'm going to try to get it up early, and I'll just have it sitting there mute while everybody gets on board, and then we'll just take it from there. And so today, so we have all three of the major central banks have become total doves, and I titled this report tonight hot potatoes because I don't think any one of them wants to take the blame for the coming crash. It's just extremely clear now that any hint of any tightening is just gonna crush the markets. Yellen started talking all tough, and markets started going haywire on her, and she started whispering sweet nothings. And if you notice, the market's gone up 10 straight days here, and then last night, Carrata, yeah, no problem, and then this morning, Draghi, I'll do more QE, and so these guys are they're all in now. I think they're absolutely fearful, but this could be just counterproductive too, because people start getting a little nervous here, and if velocity keeps falling, it's not going to matter because revenues will start to fall. So we'll just take it a step at a time here. I'm doing something a little bit different on my report tonight. I'm going to filter it by market cap, and I added the FANGs in there just because of what the NASDAQ going straight up for the last 10 days. I think it's important to see what's going on there. And also for you to know, basically the top 10 stocks in the stock market is like 20% of the stock market. And it's cap weighted, which means that the more they go up, the more the market pushes up. So this is the game that's being played. But a lot of these guys are reporting now, and there are a lot of headwinds macro on these guys too. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes up in the next 6 to 9 months as the economy continues to get softer. But let's get rolling. Here's Apple. We have a 145-140 put spread on for August, and I'm feeling very comfortable about that. This is way above its VWAP right here. This is what I call my home base, and I think it's going to come into it. It's down a little bit today, but I think this is rare air for Apple, and I think people are going to push it down. Google, I haven't followed Google in forever. It's also struggling a little bit today too. It's also in that rarefied air area for it to come back in here. And these moves here are big enough to make the Qs fall pretty hard. Microsoft reports tonight, so it's pushed up pretty hard into its report. So we'll see. Typically, if it pushes up like this above VWAP and goes into its report, it usually sells down. So my speculation is we'll see after hours Microsoft fall. Not for any other reason that it's already been baked into the price. Amazon, been up and down. It's been green and red today. Here's a stock worth $500 billion, and it was given $30 billion worth of cash flow credit today, which is just amazing to me. And Amazon's going to start running into issues here because now they're affecting other industries, and I guarantee the political and the regulatory machine will start taking notice here. And I think Amazon's going to struggle trying to grow into different markets here, so it's going to be interesting to watch. And plus, it's just absurdly overvalued, but that hasn't stopped it in 10 years. So, but maybe somebody denying them an acquisition or doing some trust busting will get the price's attention. I think Trump's staying away because he knows if he blows up this gold mine, so Washington Post is Bezos' weapon, and plus he kills the stock market. So he kind of trapped himself. I think this is what's holding up the Qs right now. Facebook reports next week. It's also in that rarefied air area. Everything's just embedded can be, but money flow is really not supporting the moves too much now. I think it's just we're just waiting for the reports and probably sell the news event. Facebook has an issue too because they're advertiser dependent, and if we slip into a recession, advertising revenue falls. I know somewhat about this because being with YouTube, and you get revenue advertiser credit based on views, and YouTube's already cut our revenue in half for the same amount of views because the ad rates that they're charging has been cut in half too. So the advertisers are starting to get more and more picky, and so it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Plus, Amazon making everything non-branded. So the brand names are going to cut back on advertising on top of it all. So you're going to get a double whammy here. Be interesting to see what happens to Facebook and with Google. Same. Here's the SPY, pretty flat today. I mean, we're definitely in rare air here, way above the VWAP as well. So now you just have to wait for it to fall. Nvidia is extremely overvalued too. Here's the Qs. Made a couple attempts to go negative today. 10 straight days up. Probably into all these earnings reports of the FANGs. And so I'm confident that we're going to get a big retrace on this because that's what usually happens to these moves. They get retraced. Not all the way, but enough to make it worth your while to trade it. Gold was up today. I sold my IAU position, so it's starting to get a little bit shaky here. I can always get back in later, but the VWAP's still turning down. I'd like for this thing to be coming back up again, so I just took profit, trying to be a little bit more cautious in my old age here. IWM, it's been swinging positive and negative today. It's also had some pretty strong resistance areas as well. XLF, I don't even know why this thing's positive. I'm not going to talk about the banks. Their business is imploding, and yet they can hold the market caps on these. It's just astounding to me. Here's Twitter. I was following Twitter. I should have been following it. I should have been buying it. It popped 20. Nice move today, but now it's just way out of its range with VWAP. Maybe it has earnings coming up too. I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. I'll have to look into it, but it's definitely pushed up way above its bands now. And I'm looking for this thing to come back in as well. XLE, this is the one I have the puts on. I was gratified to see that this was a little bit of an overthrow today. Went and filled the gap, came up above it, and it's struggling a little bit, which is good. I have the 64s for August. I'm expecting good things from this. XLK. XLY is Amazon. Talked about. Okay, so I have wheat and precious metals. This was a nice day today. Finally broke out and up. I'm looking for, it's getting close to its top range too. I've been selling calls against this, and so I have half my position in 20 sold calls, and the other 3,000 shares are unabated. And probably depending on what it does tomorrow, I like the fact that it's pushed up over 60 on the Stokes here, and I probably won't get any more hedged, I don't think, until maybe next week. I'd just have to see how this all plays out, because this has been long in coming for me, so I'm looking forward to try to maybe double top here. Whoops, hate when it does that. So I'm looking for maybe a move to 21 if I can get it. But if it gets to 2050, I'll be hedging it pretty hard because I don't think it's ready for a breakout just yet. But I'll be happy to be wrong. MOS, a little bit of a pop. I knew it was going to come down at some point, but it's holding pretty well. I'm still looking for this to come back in a little bit and look for a place to buy it back. SLV is stuck right here on this lower VWAP and on a long old pivot. I must have to check that out. Must be a Fibonacci I put on years ago, still sitting in there. But so looks constructive, but again, what I like to see is these VWAPs start turning up higher so I can feel comfortable buying dips versus cashing out when it gets to here. Okay, IR is rolling over. Silica, this is amazing. So I don't know what happened with oil today, be honest. I wasn't really following any news, but it looked pretty strong. We were watching it in the room, and I knew when it hit that pivot at I think 47.70, said I think it's done for the day. I thought it would just meander. I was focused on NASDAQ today, and that thing just sold down, you know, the whole day. And then XLE blew up, and the Silica blew up, and so I have to poke around and see what's happening. But if the move's over for now, you know, I think we can look back at going back to 40 again. We're going into the weaker season now. DXJ, SH, getting a little bit of support there. Same there. This was the sector of choice to try to keep the SPY and the Qs green. And like I said, all it's doing is chopping back and forth here. A little bit hard for me to trade it. It doesn't look very trendy to me. And Nugget looks like it's getting probably close to the end of its move. I wouldn't be, you know, GDX okay, but I don't know if Nugget, depends what's going to happen here if we really pop tomorrow, but we'll see. I wouldn't be chasing it right now though. We're out of AG. I'll wait for the next setup. BXX, never waste an opportunity to sell this thing down. Here's the banks. Hey, FAS is rolling over. What do you know? I was thinking about it. I got burned pretty bad before on it, but I think this might be the time. I'd like for these stocks to get under 60 here, and then I think it'd be a good shot to take it short. XIV, just amazing. Dollar still falling. Market just closed. This is nice. I got the 14 puts strike for August. I'm pretty confident now that I'm going to get paid to hit right at the top of this band and sold down. Things, they don't like to be outside of here. These are like bumper cars. They like to get back to VWAP. And right now that price is 14 but falling. This TNA. DBA was flat today. A lot of digestion here of some of these moves. They've talked about them before. XME was kind of flattish but up today. TZA. So I think looking at natural gas, I may take a peek at it for next week to see if this is just going to be a pause that refreshes higher, or if we're going to start selling down on it. I guess it's going to depend on how the weather looks over the next couple weeks. Okay, here's my Qs. Okay, so 28.10 is my price. It's still trying to get a bid here, but I think we're close with the Qs. FAZ, talked oil, talked Nugget Dust, oil again. Okay, we're getting pretty close for me to buying some TWM. Here's the yen. They try to push the yen down a little bit. This is interesting to me, but we're embedded. So if this thing closes and comes back up, we get another move higher on the yen. Then I think oil will well, it should support oil typically, but it should give a good impetus for gold and should put some pressure on the Qs. JJG coming along. 28 is my sell half price. And so I can just keep lowering my basis on this. URA, flattish today. Got BIS here. I put copper on there too to watch copper. Kind of flat today. Coffee might get to a point where you know, some folks might want to take some profit pretty soon, but secularly, you know, be by the dip time for coffee. Same with corn. Corn's looking really good. I'm telling you, corn and soybeans are rocketing, and I just heard today via Twitter, so I know it's secondhand, but I was told that that we opened up our export. China accepted our export license for rice. Now, the Chinese are buying American rice. That's telling me something. They're buying our soybeans. So there might be some issues here. And I just hope it's not China just sucking all the food out of our country and leaving us to starve here because we're trying to get a better trade balance with them. That would be Trump not being part of the deal. That'd be Trump being dumb of the deal, giving away our food to balance the payments. They should just let us open up some of our other stuff into their marketplaces instead of food. We feel like we're a vassal state of theirs. SRS is pushing up, so this one I'll buy on the next go around, I'm pretty sure. Drip, I told you about Drip. I thought it was going to push up. Since I was already short XLE puts, I didn't want to do too much. Plus, I don't like going long the ultras, but it's definitely in a position where it may take a run up to VWAP, so you may have $1 or $2 in this trade. Okay, I talked about boiled puts. I'm still thinking about it. Sugar's looking good. Got our sell price on there, and we moved our stop up on it just so we can make money, but I'm definitely interested in this as a long-term swing. Wheat turned around, went from red to green, so it's gonna be like this a lot. I think you're gonna get bids now. You're not get this week after week, day after day moves in the grains to the downside. The Australia just reported horrendous harvest numbers for wheat. United States are not that good. And so ironically, Russian wheat's holding up pretty well, so harvest would be a total disaster. Soybeans moving up again. And we bought right at this price too. So we're in the semiconductor short. Exception to my rule. Got TNX here, was down a little bit. And we got the VIX, pushed it down to 9.53. I mean, come on. I mean, anything just to try to keep this market from crashing. But they're going to run out of VIX pretty soon. So things are starting getting weird. You go from like atomic level to quantum level here pretty soon. It's going to do some bizarre things to the market. And that's it. So I'll catch you guys in a couple hours if you're going to listen in. This is Bob from Trade Genius. Other than the Q put trade that we're in, July has been a really good month for us. I may still salvage that trade I have till September, but I'm pretty confident the UCO puts and the XLE puts that we put on are definitely gonna turn profit for us, and all the swing trades we're on are doing well, except for the earlier tech ones where we had a couple of losses. But the ones we put on today are holding up. I think we're at the end of the move, so I'm pretty confident we're going to make money on those too. So anyway, you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks. Bye.